All right, and we are ready for our next run. We are coming up with Silent Hill with Mies. Take it away, my friend.
Thank you, sir. Welcome, everyone. I'm closing it down for you guys. Welcome, everyone. I'm having with me Ed Durando. He's going to be my co-commentator for the run. So,
Hello.
hello, Ed. Welcome on in, buddy. He is going to tell you about the run, about the strats, and everything whatsoever. So, with no further ado, if tech is ready, I'm going to give a countdown on 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and go! We have started the run.
Good luck, sir.
Thank you. Alright, yeah, the first thing is, it's Harry.
It's Harry, exactly.
Looking for his daughter, Cheryl.
Mm-hmm. But even like the first sort of thing, the first sort of little optimization that you'd want to make at this point is like the sort of the line where the road meets the sidewalk. That's kind of where you want him to end up.
Hey, wait!
During
Stop.
the little transition to the cutscene coming up, because that will he can run the furthest down the alley, which actually it's kind of like a cutscene, so it stops IGT. So it's just a little time save there. Not horribly.
It is a time save. It is a time save.
It is.
It saves a couple of seconds if you're going near the sidewalk or just going into the side way.
Yeah, and I think actually you were the one who taught me about that particular little time save there. I think you were the one who taught me that.
Correct.
So.
And I don't know who was. I think Punchy did the discovery. I guess maybe I don't know. I don't know which runner did that discovery, but I also get it from another runner, you know. Runner from a runner.
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah. So yeah, the first thing what we are going to do is to die quickly.
What's going on?
To save some time. Optimization is 155, 52-ish, and that's good. Grabbing me around, and that's it.
That was pretty good. That was a pretty good alley. Well done. Yeah, the items that you must pick up at this point are the flashlight, the map, and the knife. Then as you leave, and you could pick up the health drinks because they're right there, they're good insurance. You obviously get the cutscene, and then after you shoot the air screamer, that's when you get the radio. But you cannot leave, you cannot even trigger this cutscene without picking up the map, the flashlight, and the knife.
Optimization with the air screamer is 4 bullets. Rare occasionally is 3, but we have 5, and that's average. 5 bullets to take him down.
Yeah, 5 is pretty common. I think 5 happens probably a good 60% of the time. At least that's just my own sort of estimation there.
Yeah.
I have no actual stats to confirm.
So we are playing this on the PSTV. It's the American version on the PSTV version. The loading times of, for example, the doors are really fast. So you can complete your run faster if you want to. IGT, on the other hand, can be a valuable thing, but.
Yeah, the good thing about this particular run is that it doesn't matter that much which platform you run it on, because it all depends on the IGT, which is pretty much the same across platforms as far as I know. So it's not one of those games where you need like a very specific platform in order to get the best run. So it's a very good run. Like if you have like an old like PS1 or something like that, you can definitely be competitive. As a matter of fact, and I may be mistaken on this, I believe the world record holder runs this on a PS1.
I think you can be right. Yeah.
I believe he does, and that would be Aaron.
And it used to be Punchy on the PSTV. back in the day. But I think you can. Yeah, I think Aaron has reclaimed the world record again on the PS. I don't know if it's the Japanese version. I don't recall. I don't know for sure. Anyway,
I'm not too sure.
but we are now collecting some keys to open a certain door. For the direction to the school.
Yes, yeah. The only way to get to the school is by going through a specific house on 11th Street, and you need 4 keys in order to do that. So we're just collecting those keys right now.
Yeah,
And the 4th key is actually in the doghouse just outside of the house, but you need to read specific notes at the west end of Matheson Street in order to do that. So.
Yeah, there's certain notes on the end of this this way. If you don't read them, then Harry will not look at the doghouse whatsoever. He says, "Oh, it's a doghouse." He won't look into it.
To be fair, can you really blame him? It's like nobody would really know to look for a key inside the doghouse.
You have a point there, I guess. All right.
Some people are saying that there's double audio for the game audio.
Double audio?
Yeah.
Okay. The audio check was good. I don't know, maybe Tech can look into it.
I'm not too sure.
Can be annoying.
Tech are having a look. Yeah, they're having a look right now for it.
Okay, thanks.
All right. Now we run directly to the school, and in this part, you generally want to keep your flashlight off more than on.
It's just I'm having it on and off for a little bit to make my way to the sidewalk, to point out my direction, and then down the hedge and go to the school, because there are some air screamers here. If you have the flashlight on, they will grab you eventually.
Yes. It is correct.
Right. Also, the school is divided in 2 parts. You have the normal, and yeah, I call it the nightmare school, but yeah, it is the other world. But first we're going to the normal section of the school. Going to pick up some items there.
Yes, the first thing you want to do is, the first thing you want to do is pick up the silver medallion. Because there's a specific there's a specific sequence in the school here where it's like you have to get things and then put them into the clock tower in a specific order in order to unlock other things that that give you more medallions, etc., etc. But there's a silver medallion and a gold medallion, and you need to pick up the gold medallion, and you actually have to put it into the clock tower before you can pick up the silver medallion. So.
That is correct, and also the hitboxes are very small at certain items. You need to stand up in a particularly way to pick them up. It can be a little bit annoying.
Yes. So when you insert the gold medallion, that's what actually unlocks the piano, and that's what will give you the silver medallion. So that's why you got to take it in a specific sequence. You can't just do it all in one sort of one trip. You got to go back down, and then you got to go back up.
right.
And for those music fans out there, at the piano, you have to play D, A sharp, G, and then C sharp in that order. And yeah.
Yeah, the notes are all false. They're all busted.
Yes. Yes, yeah. They're all silent notes. They don't actually make a sound. Other than a click. Yes, every speedrunner dreads the sound of a ding when you hit piano that actually makes a tone.
Okay. One grab so far, so that's not it's not bad at all.
Pretty good, pretty good.
Next stop, the clock tower. Oh, he get me again. What? I think I was a little bit too fast with the flashlight. Doesn't matter. We're still on pace. Yeah, now is the other world, or the nightmare section, you can call it. Everything is changed now, and yeah, also the room has changed. The way that you enter certain areas or go back to get up items can be pretty tough.
Indeed. Yeah, like it's a completely different route once you get to the other world. Or instead of going left to the left end of the back hallway, you actually take the sort of door on your right hand side. Now you're about to pick up the most important weapon in this entire run. It's the shotgun.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Shotgun is your best friend in a speed run of this game.
Hello? Okay. Harry was troubling getting the shotgun. He's a little bit scared. But we're good.
We are. Sorry. Yeah, the shotgun is really, besides at the very beginning of the game, during the in the cafe against that very first air screamer, the shotgun is really the only weapon you use throughout pretty much every category. And obviously, if you're going to use the shotgun throughout the entire run, you're going to need ammunition. So the first bit of ammunition you find is in this chair. In this classroom here. Or rather, on the chair. It's not in the chair.
Yeah, I hear. I don't know what's up with that. Doubling audio.
Yes, the doubling audio, we're not quite sure what's causing that, unfortunately.
Sorry that you guys are troubling with that. We tested the audio beforehand, but...
It just means we're getting double Silent Hill. Tex had a look and they can't seem to find anything on their end.
Okay, then it's on my end then.
Yeah, exactly. Twice the Silent Hill.
It's just double the Silent Hill, exactly. It's the Silent Hill Hill.
Yes. That is good. Yeah, I don't know what's troubling with that. Okay. Sound is bad anyway. Bonus content. Who knows?
Yeah, now you got to go back to the courtyard, pick up the key.
Oh, forgot to turn off my flashlight. I'm gonna get punished by it.
Yeah, that last gray child in that hallway is always a pain. Like, he grabs me probably a good 50% of the time. Yeah, actually, we are almost done the school, so it's going by very, very quickly.
Oh.
Yeah, sorry about the glitches, guys. Alright. So now, typically, in most categories, you actually do not want to go into the room on the left, the room with the 2 boxes of shotgun shells. However, for this category, this is actually the all bosses category. It's pretty much optimal to go in there to pick up those extra shells, because you will be doing extra boss fights. And yeah. And we will actually talk about where this particular run differs from New Game Easy, for example, a bit later once we get to that point. Splithead is pretty straightforward on this difficulty. You shoot him typically about 3 or 4 times outside of the head, and then once he opens his mouth, you shoot him twice in the mouth, and then that's it.
Mm-hmm.
That is all she wrote. Good job on Splithead, by the way, sir.
Thank you. Yeah, this category is recently new added to the leaderboard, and we are now trying it out with a bunch of runners on the Silent Hill series. Is that all bosses category? So yeah. And
yeah, this category is less than a month old. It was added on April 5th, I believe. So it's a very, very new category. It's essentially a glitchless category. Because there are 2 major glitches that you do in an any percent in a New Game Easy speedrun in this, and we're going to bypass both of them. I'll explain what they are once we get to them, but that's quite a bit later.
And we're now on our way to the church.
I gotta be honest, chat's pretty funny right now.
Okay.
How to double your DPS with sound glitch.
I think I know what the fuzz is about, or what the error is, the malfunction, and I think it's on my end. When I mute you, Ed, then it's gone.
Ah.
I'm sorry. I don't know what's causing that, because we had a sound check early on, and all was good, and we're gonna start the run and it's all messed up again. I don't know. But yeah, double the silent, like the host says, double the silent.
Exactly.
It's okay.
All right, we're heading up towards the dreaded BCR. bridge control room, the bane of any Silent Hill runner's existence. The movement in this coming up room is actually very tricky to do. Do well. Because you have to get around that railing, and then you have to line yourself up with the control panel so you can use the key, and it's a very tricky thing to do.
Yeah. Because of the FPS, the room is like frame dropping like a madman. It's pretty insane.
Indeed.
Worst run and everything. Yeah.
Yes, that's exactly it, Saffarel. The VCR is so cursed.
Now we have that back to back. We're now heading towards the hospital. And that should be fun, right, Ed?
Indeed. Indeed, the hospital is... I actually like the hospital quite a bit in this run. Not as much as I like Nowhere, but the hospital is quite fun. I think the school, in my opinion, as far as major areas go, is probably the worst. Silent Hill River Dance Edition.
Holy shit. Yeah, this is going to be a meme, I guess.
I think so. All right, now in this particular run, you actually do not pick up the plastic bottle or the red liquid. You do that in almost every other category. In this one, we want to bypass it because, for reasons that will become apparent rather later. Noting to those who may not be familiar with this, with Silent Hill as a speedrunning game, is that the cursor, when you are in like puzzles or anything like that, it actually moves faster if you use the analog stick than if you use the D-pad. So it's just a good way to save a couple of seconds throughout the run. Actually, quite a few seconds if you account for all the puzzles.
For sure. Alright, it begins. Pick up these plates.
Yeah, the first thing you want to do, obviously, you want to go to the third floor and pick up the plate, and you want to pick up the blood pack here. There's a certain sequence, like you don't want to go to the second floor until you have all of the plates, essentially, or most of them. Number 2. Have a tendency to grab you, and they could be a real pain in the butt. Because like it happens sometimes where they'll start grabbing you, and then they'll keep on doing it. So you get grabbed like 3 or 4 times by the same nurse, and you lose a tremendous amount of time.
Yeah, those doctors can also do a pretty amount of damage along the way.
Yes.
You don't want that.
Nope. The interesting thing about the room with the tentacles where you use the blood pack is you can essentially use the blood pack anywhere in the room except for as soon as you enter. Like, you got to take a little bit of a step. But when I was young, I thought you actually had to run up to the tentacles in order to use it, but you don't. You could just take one step away from the door and then use it, and then Harry throws it. So, nice little tip.
Yeah. Is there some messages from the host, maybe?
We got a few donations here, yeah.
Let's go.
We got a $5 donation from ZeroX, or Xerox, I'm not entirely sure, but thank you very much for the donation there. No message in that one. And we also have a $50 donation from Matthew St. Louis that says, please help me, Argic. I'm confused. What kind of hedgehog is this? Can it run as fast as Sonic? And the donation goes to Runner's Choice.
Oh.
So thank you
Nice.
very much, both of you, for your donations there. That puts us up to a nice $1,110.
Very nice.
Very nice. Very nice donations. Thank you so much, everyone. Oh. Go to right. Lost it a bit. No, I'm not in nowhere yet.
Oh, you're not nowhere.
I'm not in nowhere
So-
yet. Wait. This one. And that
Nowhere is
one.
the end game area, and it does resemble the hospital, and it is an entirely different route. I've gotten confused between the two before. You want to run to the opposite end of the hall.
Yeah.
You could. Yeah.
Yeah, sorry about that, folks.
I've gotten them mixed up before, where I do the nowhere route in the hospital, and I do the hospital in the nowhere hospital route. So
I was a little bit confused there. But we're good. We're now back on track again.
yes.
There we go. Because we are going to the basement. Gonna encounter a lot of nurses there, but we're gonna evade them eventually.
Yeah, the basement nurses are among the easiest ones to dodge. You
Yeah.
really don't ever have to worry about them.
Yeah, sometimes I get mixed up with them.
Yeah, exactly.
Especially when you are doing a marathon, you want to go fast, and sometimes you want to go too fast. You forgot to think about certain points.
Yes, and I will talk about one of those later on. A pretty notorious point
What's this?
that I have seen some runs lost to.
Yeah.
We'll get there. Had the same issue when I was trying to get the 10-star rank. Yeah, the 10-star is it's tricky. Yeah, this is the last box of shotgun shells that you pick up in this run. It's in that storeroom there.
And that's the hospital.
And this that doctor in that last hallway can really interfere with things. Like, sometimes he's in the wrong position, you have to run around him. Then if you're especially unlucky, he can slash you a few times.
Yeah. Block your way.
All right. Now we run to the antique shop, where actually the first major glitch in a regular speed run occurs. I will explain that as we're running outward. It's actually an out-of-bounds glitch that saves you a pretty significant amount of time. And if you want to get a good any percent, you pretty much have to do it. And it involves one of the rompers outside of the antique shop as you are leaving it in the other world. And yeah, I'll talk about that a little bit more in a bit. I have lost so many runs to that monkey.
A lot of people do.
So many runs.
A lot.
Mr. McSqueezy says, good luck, Mies. Good luck, Ed. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thanks for the raid. Excuse me. Appreciate it, buddy.
That's a good point, Clef the Mouse. Anyways, yes, when you're leaving, there's actually a romper outside of the antique shop. And what you want to do, there's essentially two parts to the out of bounds glitch. One is that you want to aggro him and then have him jump on Harry as you are transitioning to the hallway, like the hallway with the stairs there. And if you get the timing right, it actually messes with your hit detection. And you can actually run straight through that door, kind of above Silent Hill, and then land on the rooftop above the hospital. And it does save a significant amount of time if you can get it done. And the second part, of course, is actually running to the hospital, which is pretty easy on every platform, but for some reason on the PS TV, you can't run directly through the doorway. You kind of have to run around it, and that could really mess with your trajectory.
Sure.
And you could end up going into, like, oblivion.
Yeah.
Then once you get to that point, it's the run's over. You can't really recover. But we will not be doing that in this particular run. It's essentially a glitchless run. We're fighting one of the bosses you seldom fight in a Silent Hill speedrun. That was pretty good.
Yeah, two fights. Perfect strat is just one, but I had one shot too few to get him down. If he is putting his head in the sand, then it's a done deal. You need to do the shots over again. So, but two is pretty decent. 2 runs.
Yeah. Like I've had during 10-star runs, I've had 5 cycle twin feelers, so 2 is pretty good.
Now we are heading to the next boss. I call him the float singer. He's a guy that strolls around you and tries to sting you. With a decent amount of damage, so you want to evade that.
Yes, yeah. And the thing about Float Stinger that's really interesting is that he kind of has, like, I don't know if it's invincibility frames or what, but it's more efficient to wait a little bit between each shot rather than just spamming. I'm not sure exactly why that is, but typically want to wait, I don't know, maybe a second between each shot.
What I do, I do a shot and then I'm going to strafe around him.
Yeah, that's what I do too. I do a shot and then a running step to the side. Because if you just spam shots, it's going to take far more shotgun shells and you might run out, I believe.
Yeah.
This is all bosses. That is correct, Mr. Jaggerson.
We go for it. We go for the all bosses run because it's fresh, it's new, it's lit, it's just go for it, you know. Everyone has seen any percent run for years and years in a row. So all bosses is new on the leaderboard. So we're gonna go for that.
Yes. Yes, indeed. It's a pretty exciting category. I enjoy it quite a bit.
Right, sewers is coming up.
Yes.
AKA the maze, if you can call it. Can you explain a bit more about the sewers, Ed?
They're a big pain in the butt. That's my explanation. No, the sewers are. It's even in a casual playthrough, the sewers are really strange because the hardest part of the sewers is done before getting the map. Like, I mean, the hardest part to navigate, which is a very strange choice on their part. I think people who played this game casually will know exactly what I'm talking about. It's like, man, I did all this navigating, and then I get the map. Yeah, the sewers is a place, as far as speedruns go, where your biggest obstacle are the scratchers, the green lizard people. And, yeah, there's a few of them that can really get in your way and attack you, and there's not a lot you can do about that. It is mostly RNG.
Yeah, you have to be lucky with the bunks and the doors and the. How do you call those
Yes.
those creatures at
Scratchers.
scratches? I'll call them monsters and rompers and whatever, but yeah, and they do damage.
Yeah, and I guess now's a good time to talk about the door bonking in this game. The door bonking is a very strange mechanic. Like if you run, and it's strange because of how inconsistent it is. If Harry runs directly into a door, he bonks into it, right? Which you could, kind of makes sense. But the thing is, some of the doors you can open immediately afterwards, and the other ones it costs you like a second. And I'm not sure why this is. Like, the doors in the sewers are notorious because if you bonk into them, it does take a second in order for you to actually open the door. Like, it does take a little bit of time. In Silent Hill, to mitigate bonking into doors, you kind of want to hit them at an angle. You don't want to hit them at 90 degrees. 45 or so-ish. It doesn't have to be exactly 45, but if you hit it at an angle, you greatly mitigate your chances of bonking into it, and then you could open it immediately. So.
I cannot help it. I was looking a little bit at chat. Normally, I don't do it with a speedrun marathon or a speedrun showcase or whatsoever. But now and then, I'm peeking through chat because I'm very curious what people saying. And Seth is saying this RNG though. Yeah, I'm astonishing with it. Normally, I would ever be grabbed or something like that. It's pretty amazing. No bonk doors, no grabbers by the scratches and all that kind of stuff. So I don't know what's happening.
Yeah, this is a good sewer.
It's a pretty good sewer so far, Seth.
Yes, indeed.
The gang is here. Hell yeah! Welcome everyone. Get your donations in. Maybe it's a good point now. Maybe a word from the host. Where to go the donations to? What's the good cause for this marathon?
Thank you. Yep. Just to let you all know that all our donations here will be going to Crisis. Crisis are, of course, a charity who are working to try and end homelessness for good. And the way they are achieving that is through education, training, support with housing, employment, and health. All 100% of your donations will be supporting them. And here is what they do. Specifically with housing, they aim to help homeless people find and keep a rented home. They do this by working with landlords to ensure they have a supply of places to live and can give homeless people the tools and knowledge they need to successfully rent. And they have a housing resource centre that can provide information and training from housing professionals.
Well, I think that's a very good cause. Thank you. Any new donations in?
Nothing in at the moment. I will let you know when we get something in.
All right. Thank you so much.
Very cool. Very cool cause.
Very nice indeed. All right. Sewer's done. I had only one bunk so far, so I take that any day on the sewers.
Yes.
And now we are on our way to the lighthouse.
Yes. Now, the lighthouse, like, well, we got to get to the boat first, which is pretty straightforward. But after the boat, the run from the boat to the lighthouse is... I'm not a fan. There's a lot of movement, a lot of enemies flying around.
Yeah, I'm going to take the next section almost completely in the dark because, like Ed says, there are a lot of creatures and monsters floating and wandering around in these tight areas. So we want to use as minimum as light as possible.
Exactly.
And
That's one thing about this game is that the monsters, they're attracted to the light, but they don't care about the radio, which is a pretty good thing. I'd hate to have to turn that off, but yeah, they tend to be attracted to the light, so it's very useful to turn off the light in several parts in the speedrun. Good luck running to the lighthouse.
Thank
Hopefully
you.
the rompers don't bother you.
Keep the light to the minimum.
Say it's actually going quite well right now.
Yeah. Pretty straightforward. Okay. So normally when you do a UFO run, there's GG here. I'm keeping my analog stick to a certain direction so I can run on one movement to the upper stairs of the lighthouse. If I don't do it, then Harry will stumble and he will stop and he will go any direction as possible. So you need to get your stick to one direction, then it's one movement Harry will do eventually. So I think that went pretty well.
Yeah. And the game is quite nice. It's quite generous. It basically teleports you back to the boat once you're done at the lighthouse. You don't have to run back there. So, always a good thing.
That's a pretty good thing, yeah.
So yeah, we're actually getting pretty close to the end of the game here. We have a couple more areas. And then it's GG.
Yeah. I think we have another 8 to 10 minutes to go. We have a little sewer part, and of course we have the Sybil fight.
Yes, and I guess I can explain coming up where the second major glitch in a speedrun is. The first one is that out of bounds I discussed earlier, outside of the antique shop. The second one takes place in the amusement park, and this applies to. Pretty sure it applies to the NTSC. I don't think it applies to PAL. I might be mistaken on that.
No, it's USA only with kind of a skip. It's USA only, USA version.
Okay, yeah, okay.
Yeah,
that's what I thought. And yes, you can actually throw the Aglophidus that you would typically throw on Sybil. You can throw it on the little larval stalkers, little invisible guys. And the cutscene is really glitchy and funny and goofy, but the game is otherwise unaffected. Like it won't. You can still finish the run. Yeah, PAL was patched. Yeah. Normally in a speed run, you'd use that red liquid and throw it on these little guys here. We just ran past. But since we're doing the all bosses, we're actually running to Sybil. because this is the only category in existence where you actually do the Sybil fight and you don't just throw a Glophodus. And I think that's actually really interesting because it's quite a neat fight actually. All right, good luck.
Thank you.
As you can imagine, when you get shot, it does tremendous damage. It's actually not too bad on this difficulty, but on hard difficulty, you'd better have pretty much full life, otherwise it's game over. Good fight though. It was pretty good.
Yeah.
Well done.
Still one shot. She does amount of damage. I think if you do this on hard, then you are dead in one shot, I guess.
It does not force you into a good ending. Using it forces you, into bad plus.
So nowhere.
Nowhere. The biggest pain in the butt to casual runners, but also I don't know, the easiest to navigate, at least for speedrunners, because it's very quick. There's not a lot of RNG involved. It's remarkably quick when you know where to go. It's actually my favorite part of the run. But I could see how it would not be another person's favorite part of the run, because if you have excellent pace, it's very easy to choke here.
Yeah, it's all levels combined, so you see every level that you have walked through in Silent Hill, everything is coming together in all different angles, places. So it's like it can be tricky nowhere.
Yes, exactly. It's an amalgamation of pretty much every major area you've been to. Like it's an amalgamation of mostly the hospital, but also a little bit of the school. You get a bit of the antique shop in there, and also the jewelry shop, which is a completely optional place. And this is why sometimes we get a little bit confused. Like this happens to me too sometimes, where it's like I'll be in the hospital and then I'll think I'm in nowhere and I take the wrong way, or vice versa.
Yeah, for sure.
Because they look so similar, and your brain is just kind of wired to go, okay, I'm in nowhere right now. You're actually in the hospital.
That's why I was messing around in my head with the hospital, and nowhere is like, oh, shit, oh no, I'm not in nowhere. I'm not in nowhere. Oops.
Yeah.
Excuse my language though.
And that happened to me actually pretty recently, like a couple of weeks ago. I was like, oh no, I'm not in nowhere. What am I doing? So yeah, that room with the sort of 3 panels. Yeah, like that's a very tricky room to do when you're first starting this playing this casually. It's one of the more notorious puzzles in the game.
Yeah, for sure.
Harry gets a face full of glass.
Okay, upper room.
You do hear the game twice, Mr. Jaggerson. A lot of people have said the same thing. And we're not sure exactly what causes that. You think it might be because there's a co-commentator? We don't know. When I get muted, the doubling goes away.
We don't want that. We don't want the co-commentator muted, so we leave it.
Nowhere is also a really interesting location because it's like the second floor and the first floor are actually the same floor. They're just like different parts of it. It really throws people off the first time.
Yeah, that's for sure. Right, the ring. Fun fact about the ring, Ed?
Yes, the ring. You can actually get insta-killed by a big fridge in this area. And I've actually seen runs by very high level runners die to that fridge. It's one of those. It's like what we were talking about earlier. Like it's just one of those things that could just slip your mind because you're in such a hurry. And yeah, so you have to use the ring on the fridge. You have to, otherwise it's game over.
This is the killing fridge.
Yes. It hasn't happened to me yet, but it's pretty much guaranteed to at some point.
Yeah.
Lost a 10 star to it, yeah. Yeah, I think a lot of people, like I said, I've seen like even really high level runners lose runs to it because like they're just in that like you got to go to the next area sort of mentality. So it's completely understandable.
You see how my angle is pointing to the bag of jelly beans. I need the perfect angle to get the bag of jelly beans in order to get the key from it. It's it can be frustrating sometimes.
Same tentacles from the hospital room. You know, I hadn't even considered that. And all the times I played this, that makes perfect sense. I mean, as much sense as mysterious tentacles can make. Alright, and we are actually just about finished.
Yeah, one more item to gather, and then we are off to the boss fight. So it's going to be the last fight of the run, and then it's GG. So time is coming up soon.
Indeed, overall, I think this was a very good run. I think this might be a PB.
Pretty decent. On all bosses, it's I think we're getting pretty close. All right, time is coming up in just a moment when I'm finishing the boss. So tech, be ready. And time.
Hey, GG, man.
That was it,
Good
ladies
job.
and gentlemen. The closing down run for tonight for the first day of the UKSG 2021 Spring Marathon. I am Mieslwd with my co-commentator at The Rando. I wish you a grateful event, a good night. Thank you very much for watching. And yeah, that's it for me, I guess. Thank you very much.
Yeah, well, we've got you here just quickly before we run off. We got a $10 donation from Saf there that says, "You're killing it, Mies."
Thank you, Seth. Very much appreciated, sir. Thank you so much for that donation. Very much appreciated. Thank you.
And that is it, folks. As mentioned there, we are coming up towards the end of the day here. I believe we're going to get our little closing segment set up quite quickly. And then we got a lot to talk about.